welcome to the Dredge. I'm your host, Bachman, and today I'd like to talk a little bit about indie writing. If you are familiar with the website, anything to do with writing or publishing and me sharing my experience can be found at the website under the category The Word, which is all dedicated to helping other writers and sharing my knowledge so that you don't have to work as hard like the rest of us, or many of us, have to do when we're coming in and we don't know what we're doing. I am that kind of person. I want to learn for myself, experience the good with the bad, and I wanted to talk about things that you need to know before you decide to publish. First and foremost, are you going to self-publish? Have you thought about small presses and small publishers? Maybe you want to do a little bit of both. That's actually something I do. There's also going to be in this episode things that talk about what to avoid. It can be messy, but the end results is so rewarding. So let's dig into this. Self-publishing basically is when you are funding your own work. You're putting your own time in for your manuscript. You're paying an editor to edit it. You're going to end up paying a graphic artist to do any illustrations you might have in your work. You're going to need them also to do cover work for you. You're also going to need a formatter. They're going to format your book to the size. So if you are wanting a 5x9, which is 5 inches by 9 inches book, you're going to need somebody who knows how to format so that when it's printed, your words aren't cut off on the edges. The graphic artist will also sometimes ask for the print size, the 5x9 or whatever, so that they can size the cover so that it's not aligned wrong. I've seen some really poorly produced covers where they're aligned wrong, the words are cut off. It can get pretty bad if you are not really researching who you're hiring. A lot of people think they're going to save money by having cousin, mama, kid do it, and they don't have experience. Now, if they do, great. That's going to help in the long run, fun-wise. When you go with an independent publishing company or a small press, that's where the indie word comes through. You're doing it independently, and when you work with a company, they are independent. They are on their own. They're not working for a bigger company like Random House. They have their own staff, and you have to be contracted with them to have their name on your book as part of the deal usually, or somewhere in the book. In my experience, I love working with small press publishing. It helps a lot cut down on the work that I have to do because I usually do all of my own work. It saves me money, and plus I'm the kind of person that wants to know how to do things, so if something messes up I can fix it. But because I do my own and work with small presses, I end up being called a hybrid. It's somebody who does it both. And I once read an article, I can't remember where at this moment. If I find it and you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put it in the description for you to look at. They said that people that hybrid in this industry are actually some of the happier writers, with self-publishing being very miserable, especially if you can't find the things that you need, you can't learn it, you're having trouble. And sometimes people with small presses, if they're signed with somebody who is not good for them, it's not a good fit, they could be miserable. But hybrids go back and forth. One of the biggest mistakes I see is with the fourth point, which is vanity presses. They will offer you everything under the sun. and you have to pay for all of it. It's usually set up in like a package deal. You pay us, say, $2,000, and we'll produce your book in hardback, and we'll do it in paperback, and we'll give you posters and this and that. And sometimes you will get some of what they're saying. Most times they'll take the money, you'll get a paperback version or a hardback version, but you have no say. They just do it all for you, which to somebody coming in, that sounds ideal. It sounds great, but you're paying for it. When you work with, say, a small press, you're not going to pay. They're paying. They have staff that they're paying to work on your book. And that will oftentimes be explained in a contract. And it can get legally messy. These are, the 4 types of publishing. You got self-publish, you got small publishers, then you have hybriding, and then you have vanity presses, which I'm big time against a vanity press. They are never any good. I've seen too many people get scammed. So besides what kind of path you want to start off on, do you want to go with an agent? Do you not want to go with an agent? A lot of small publishers don't mind working with them, but oftentimes when a writer works with an agent, they're trying to get into some of the top 5 big publishing houses out there, and you need an agent, or they just won't look at your work unless you know somebody who knows somebody. And even then, if they are doing what they're supposed to as professionals, they're not going to look at your work without an agent. Small presses are really, really good in that you're going to most oftentimes talk to the CEO. You're going to talk to the person that owns the company. Whereas with an agent, they're the middleman. Yes, they will work for you to get you the best deal, because ultimately they're going to get paid out of it. I'm just the kind of person that prefers small agent okayed publishing companies. Sometimes another thing to remember is, do you have the time? You may have the time, an hour to a night, 5 minutes here and there to write the book, but that may take you months, and often does, or even years. Like in my case with my series, it's taken me several years to get out. But I'm not just doing the writing, I'm doing the images, I'm doing the graphics, I'm doing the formatting. Luckily, I've signed with publishing companies that will take some of that off of me and allow me to at least keep my covers that I like, because it's my work, and it's something that they're not going to have to pay for, unless it's put in the contract, and oftentimes I don't require it. That's just me. It doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, and then the other thing is, you need to know that you're going to market. On your own or with a company, you're going to market. You will feel like you are marketing and screaming about your work more or longer than it took you to write it. And that's just part of it. This is not a sprint. This is not anything you can get rich quick. It takes time. It takes effort. And a company, if you decide to work with one, are going to go, do they believe in their own work? Well, let's see what they're doing. If you are not doing interviews or making images out there for your work, talking about your work, why should they? Why should they put the work in too if you're not even putting in the effort? Like, it's not going to make sense financially, professionally, to them to put effort in if you, the writer, won't even put the work in. I've seen that in all these years that I've been in the industry in some shape or fashion since 2014, where writers sign with a company and expect the company to do everything, and they're not going to do anything. And oftentimes those are the same people that think they're bigger than, the Stephen Kings, the Anne Rice, And it's not what you think it is. It's not going to be what you think it is. And I think that's where the industry has a little bit of a bad reputation, because everybody thinks that it's easy. Well, they're writing, I can write. Yes, you can write. You can put a pencil to a paper. You can type in Word document. You can get something out. Is it going to be good? Maybe. Maybe not. And often, especially early on, when you get into this industry, you're going to see very quickly the difference. You're going to see people really, really hustling and working, and then you're going to see people that can't or won't. I end up going back and forth where I'm pounding out tons of stuff for content for you guys, and then I'll be quiet because I'm working or I have things I'm dealing with. But when I was working for companies, I often saw writers very large, oh, this is great, I put so much work into it, and basically once they're signed, they dump it on the publisher to do all the work, and they don't go to conventions, which isn't a requirement, or, even talk about their work, or leave unfinished work on their profiles or pages that is not, it was supposed, like, I've seen it, I've experienced it, where writers who really don't know what they're doing will take an image they were shown for approval and use that as promotional material, and it usually doesn't look right. And it doesn't reflect good on the writer to do that. You want the best foot forward. You want everybody to think this is the greatest thing that you have ever created, that's ever been, so that they'll at least look and give your book a chance. Whether you choose, to go it your own, go with a company, or go a little bit of both, at the end of the day, it's also going to boil down to mindset. If you're going into this company, well, not the company, but the industry, with the wrong mindset, you're doomed. This is not something for anyone who wants to get in, get out, make a bunch of money. Writing, overall, whether you're publishing poetry or novels or working for a big company supplying articles, is difficult. There are deadlines, there's demands, and if you are getting in this thinking, I can make quick money, you're no, it doesn't work that way. That does come maybe if you're doing all of what you're supposed to. And sometimes people are networking and working so hard that they hit it quickly. It's like 99% hard work and 1% luck. I myself have worked for big companies writing articles. I've worked for myself. I have worked for websites writing. I've done a lot of writing. I've helped other writers. I'm still helping other writers. It's something I love to do. I write short stories and poetry, and I can tell you it's all difficult in its own way, but you cannot give up. This is something you truly want, you're passionate, and you dream about doing, do it. Even if it doesn't work out the way you're hoping, at least you can go, I did it. I tried. It wasn't for me, but I tried. I see way too many people go, I can't do it, I don't have time. You can. There's a thing called NaNoWriMo. Right now it's actually considered Preptober for that because it is next month. I participated in it. I didn't for many years because I didn't know if I could. I recommend trying that. It got me in the habit of writing every day. Even if it's 5 words, 5 lines, or 5 pages, if you can get it out of your head and onto something good. It's really, really, really great tool you can use. And you're rewarded if you can complete it. I did win several years ago. I really pushed myself. Not everybody's able to find the time to sit and write pages or paragraph or do whatever you can. That is my advice on that. There's also a thing in April called NaNoWriMo for poems and poets. I recommend that too. It'll really push and test you. And you can use that as a tool. I've actually included a challenge I did for myself on my website, and the results of that ended up being shared and published in a book I did called Melancholia. So the point of all of this is, it's rough, but you can do it. Don't get scared. Really do your research, or check out some of what I've shared. I do try to be very honest, brutally honest, and don't give up. You can do it. I did it, and I have chaos around me all the time. I get coffee when I wake up, and I handle my business, and then I do what I can, and then I keep doing what I can. Thank you for tuning into this edition. I hope to be doing more. The next one might not be about writing. Heads up. And subscribe. Hit the bell icon for notifications. If you're on YouTube, check out the description. I'm going to add links to a lot of what I talked about today. And thank you, and hope you tune in next time.